much for the opportunity to speak here. I'm sorry that I'm late. We just had a government meeting, and after the meeting we were speaking about the Lisbon agenda, and it's a very appropriate topic because innovation is in the center of the Lisbon agenda, and bringing Lisbon, which means innovation, closer to the people is also a focus point of the Lisbon agenda, and this is what you guys here will be thinking about. I don't have any fancy visuals, but to help me begin, try to visualize an unfriendly, inhibited island, and Robinson Crusoe is on that island. And if you think of it, then you can appreciate the old saying that necessity is the mother of invention. And you can also appreciate an old saying that desperation is the father of innovation. But now try to picture yourself in a shopping mall, right? And in this case, you can easily come up with the conclusion that innovation is the mother of necessity. It is what you see there, it is what is innovative that creates a need, that creates something that will pull the money out of your pocket. And this is why innovation economy is so extremely important for the global economy today. Because, as I was saying, necessity is the mother of consumption, consumption is the mother of production, production is the mother of well-being. So these relationships run really deep. Innovation is a focus point of the European development strategy. In the recent AFO report, one of the 5 key issues that should be promoted within Europe with respect to innovation-friendly market was a point called fostering a culture which celebrates innovation. And this is directly what innovation journalism should in fact be doing. In fact, during my talk I would like to make 2 key points. The first point is the importance of innovation journalism and what we expect from it. And the second point is innovative journalism. Innovative journalism because if you want to write about innovation, you are probably innovative yourself. And you want to do things differently, and current technology allows you to do things differently. And the second point is, if you write about innovation, if you write about creativity in traditional media, in traditional ways, you might miss the best targets, the best readers, the best listeners of what you are reading about, because these creative people, these innovative people may not be following the media in which you write about innovation anymore. Innovation journalism is somehow a new topic, and I think it's good that this community set up somehow a niche for itself. But myself, I think I can say I was a part of the community which was doing something like that before this was called. I was editing the Monitor magazine here in Slovenia. It was the first microcomputing magazine, making computer science, making computing technology, etc., popular in Slovenia. And it was in the last final years of my studies. And I thought I had the best job in Slovenia because I was going to all these trade fairs across the border with foreign currency, spending money attached to it, and so on and so on. And even today, I mean, if I would pick out the best person in Slovenia, the best job in Slovenia, I would say this would be Marjan Zlobec. The Slovenian audience might know who this guy is, but he goes to places like Bayreuth, he goes to Verona, he goes to Salzburg. He writes about all these fancy cultural events, and he always gets a nice slice of paper in the national newspaper. And of course, the problem is, why is culture and why is art so accepted in, let's say, day-to-day media, in day-to-day life, and why innovation cannot be? We could attribute part of that to, in some sense, to political history, because culture was somehow neutral to write about, and maybe some topics were not. Why in Slovenia do we celebrate the National Culture Day, the Prešeren Day, so strongly? We have a work-free day at that time. There is national celebration, there is a television transmission about people who write songs, playwrights, painters, and so on. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are very few people who are aware of the Ziga Turk awards, or the Puch awards, which are for inventors, which are for for scientists. Even if you look at the Nobel Prizes, you have one Nobel Prize for literature, and you have many prizes for chemistry, physics, economy, etc., etc. And innovation is important, as I was saying. Innovation is the mother of necessity, and it is important for the economic growth. And innovation, of course, goes beyond just the technical innovation. It includes creativity, it includes how to make things different, it includes, for example, what all this creative process which happens within not only scientists, not only technologists, but combines what happens within artists, within daring businessmen, etc., etc. As Albert Einstein was saying, innovation is not a product of logical thought, although the result is tied to logical structure. So innovation happens, we don't know quite well how it happens, but we can rationally always explain it. So innovation deserves attention, it deserves promotion, it deserves role models, icons, for which the young people would look up to. There are several government activities in Slovenia which I think promote this type of spreading the word. As I was mentioning, innovation is the cornerstone of the Lisbon strategy, which will be renewed during the Slovenian presidency of the European Union. Innovation is the cornerstone of the Slovenian strategy for the development of Slovenia. There is a growth in R&D spending, which slowly but surely is approaching us to the 3% GDP target. There is a government support for magazines and journals related to technical and natural sciences. There is even an obligation to scientists. I was a scientist before I took this job, and to rate our work, not only we have to publish, or we have to publish in reputed scientific peer-reviewed journals, there is also a demand that we every now and then write a popular article in a popular magazine or in a popular newspaper, just to promote innovation, to promote science, to promote creativity. And as journalists themselves are creative people, they should well know what creativity is all about. However, with all these measures that the governments and so on are doing, I wonder who is doing more for creative economy, which is based on creative people. Who is doing more for more students deciding to go and study technical sciences, to study natural sciences. I think major propaganda for these types of studies are, for example, TV series, like crime scene investigation. You have sexy policemen there doing tests, working in labs, and so on and so on. Or the Discovery Channel, or the internet, like that. There are plenty of ways which could be improved in this area. We have a reality show here in Slovenia, just like a reality show is everywhere in the world. And they are making a new version of this reality show. They are taking people to the farm. Great promotion of farm life. But is it important that we keep people at farms, or we move population back to farms? What would it hurt to create a reality show that is some development, artistic, design, etc., etc., etc. community? And there are shows in the world that do that, and that is a big opportunity. To speak, let me say a few words in addition to innovative journalism, because you want to reach the innovatively creative people who may not read the standard outlets, the standard press. I think we are witnessing a big change in this area since the internet, since the fact that everybody carries a mobile phone which has a built-in camera, which has a built-in access to the network. Today, anybody can be a witness to an event, innovative event, or event just like that. They can write directly about it. Also, people who make events can write direct reports. Blogging culture. There was recently on Saturday a conference of bloggers here in Slovenia. blogging culture enables all these participants in the event, people who are part of the event, to write about the event. The internet enables all the agencies that sponsor these events, that these events are somehow their responsibility. The internet enables them just to post the press releases, any kinds of papers, materials, etc., online. But how much has this practice changed the way news are distributed on the internet? I looked at a few internet pages of the national daily newspapers like Delo, like Dnevnik, like 24 Hours, like Seoul.net. And if you look at the news there, well, yes, they appear on screen, but they are written in a very similar way as if they were written on paper. Even the purely internet news site called Vest.si basically writes its own stories, but the opportunity is so much bigger. What they could do is actually use the power of the medium and add value by selecting original sources from abroad, making comments to original sources from outside of their magazine, and linking to the original sources, and that would be a huge benefit. And there is, for example, in the area of technology, such a blog which aggregates other news sources called Slashdot, and I would like to see something like that for day-to-day news. So in conclusion, I think creative journalism should somehow balance this sense between the wonder of technology, between how technology works, and why you care about it. It's in fact amazing that people wonder so much about how things happen. We have now in Slovenia these crop circles appearing in the vicinity of Ptuj. You know, and everybody says, wow, there have to be some spaceships landing there or whatever. So people wonder how things happen. But the magic of remote control, if you think of it, I mean, I press here and something changes there. It's also a big magic. And somehow this could be explained as well, how it works. And the final part, why do you care? I think this is extremely important because more and more technological developments, more and more scientific discoveries, more and more innovations are running deeply into the sense of what we believe to be human, or what we believe to be moral, or what we believe to be right. And wondering, in writing about these things, posting these questions makes the life, makes the adaptability, makes this thinking about technological progress much easier. So I hope you will be innovative. You have to be innovative to reach innovative public. Because you are innovative, you will write about innovation. And understanding innovation also means that to innovate, it means similar to what Einstein was saying. It means that you dare to think, not with your head, but with your heart. So I wish you a productive meeting, innovative meeting. Hope you come up with several good ideas of how to be a different journalist, how to look for alternative media outlets, how to use these new media outlets creatively. And I hope you will write about people who think out of the box, that you will promote creativity, originality, innovation, regardless if it comes from scientists, artists, economists, or politicians. Thank you.